Well, it was bound to happen sooner or later. Longlegs is my first big letdown of 2024. It's by no means the worst thing I've seen this year. Hell, it's not the worst thing I've seen this week. But between the trailer, the film festival hype, and the sentence, "Nicolas Cage plays a serial killer," this should have been a contender for the best horror film of the year. But despite being great in certain aspects, it falls frustratingly short. Set in the mid-90s, the film sees Micah Monroe as Lee Harker, a young, somewhat psychic FBI agent working on a case in Central Oregon. See, there's been a string of murders where the husband of a seemingly ordinary family will suddenly kill their wives and children before offing themselves. There's never a sign of struggle or forced entry, and the only thing that indicates someone else was present at each of the murders are envelopes left behind with coded messages signed by someone named Longlegs. Now, part of me can see why this movie was a success with certain critics. From a technical standpoint, it's really well executed. There's long stretches of soul-crushing isolation and an almost outright contempt for the aesthetics of the American middle class. Every room feels just a little too big, yet too underlit. Every conversation is singed with awkwardness. And the complete lack of a score for long stretches of time give a foreboding layer of silence that's violently punctuated by humanity's mere presence. It's not a scary film, but it is one that knows how to embody dread. And if the narrative was able to match the craftsmanship of the filmmaking, I'd be singing a different tune. Unfortunately, the film wants to poke and prod at the serial killer subgenre without offering anything interesting to fill the void. Harker solves Longlegs' code almost immediately, she figures out the pattern that connects the murders just as quickly, and once we're introduced to Cage, there's never any doubt that he's the one orchestrating the murders. I also can't tell if director Oz Perkins was outright uninterested in positioning the film as a mystery, or simply wasn't confident enough that the audience would be able to catch what passes for clues leading up to the film's big twist. So instead, he resorts to having characters deliver exposition by the shovelful just to explain what's going on. This happens more than once. As for Cage, he's as manic and over the top as you'd expect. But in a lot of ways, he's the film's anti-Hannibal Lecter. He's not directly involved in the climax, and he doesn't get as much screen time as you might expect. But where Lecter overpowered Silence of the Lambs, Longlegs is meant to be presented as pathetic and almost laughable. If the film is saying anything with Cage, it's that most serial killers were sad, deranged loners, rather than enigmatic criminal masterminds. But like I said, Longlegs isn't part of the film's big twist, nor is he involved in the climax. But I want to talk about that, so here's a spoiler warning for the rest of the review. 3, 2, 1, the devil is behind it all. Yes, really. There's a smattering of clues indicating something vaguely religious is involved, and it turns out to just be the devil. It's not an interesting take on the devil, there's no big commentary on how he's influencing people, or why he's even behind these murders. And the bastard barely has the courtesy to show up before the end. And what's really frustrating is how the devil is just used as this catch-all to explain the film's eccentricities. Why is Harker psychic? The devil. Why is Cage dressed up like that and randomly shouting glam rock lyrics?
The devil.
Why are life-size dolls and silver orbs involved in all of the murders?
Could it be Satan?
And why does no one talk like a normal person outside of Blair Underwood?
The devil!
Anyway, as a mood piece and as an appreciation for cinematography and sound editing, Longlegs is effective. But it is so frustratingly empty in its attempts at storytelling. The theater I went to see it on opening night was packed, but there was an unmistakable feeling of, what the hell did I just watch, once the credits rolled. There are better recent Nicolas Cage projects out there, and better horror offerings from this year, from the psychological to the occult. Honestly, your time is better spent elsewhere. Thanks for watching.